Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to Acting from All Angles. I'm Julianne Lichty Stratton. Today we're going to be talking about how to continue on being an actor and to be prepared and to work on your auditions and your bookings, even in the face of very upsetting times or difficult situations. That's what we're talking about. Very cheery, yeah. First, let me introduce myself to you. As I said, my name is Julianne Lichty Stratton, and I am the creator of Actors in Action Conservatory of Film and Theater, where we empower the passionate actor with the craft, skills, and freedom to have a serious acting career. So we have been having really difficult times. Hey, there's Rafe. Hi, Rafe. Great to see you. As we all know, 2020 has been such a difficult year for all of us, for the entire world. Hey, there's Jill. Hi, Jill Adler. Good to see you. And it just seems to get worse and worse and worse. Jill says she was actually thinking of me this morning. Oh, that's sweet, Jill. That's sweet. So, it's no news to anybody that our times are just really tough right now. I mean, COVID for months and months and months, and then, the whole thing with George Floyd and that travesty, the horrificness of it, and then all of the rioting. And, I mean, what's next? What's next? What's going to happen next? Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, it's just been really rough. And I actually, this whole Facebook Live, my Acting from All Angles show today, comes from talking to one of my actors that I've been working with, and a lot of my actors, of course, been upset. We've all been upset. I'm upset right now. It's even hard to get these words out. It's just hard to talk. It's very upsetting. And they were just talking about how they didn't want to come to class, or it was they just were like, it's just so I'm so shaken up with what's going on. I don't want to do this. I don't want to show up. I've heard, a lot of other people, other acting teachers that are teaching online. Everybody is so shaken up. It's hard to be present. It's hard to be alive and to act and to open up and be vulnerable. Would you not all agree? I think it's really difficult to do that right now. However, the show must go on, as they say in show business, correct? So I know there haven't been a lot of auditions lately because of COVID. It is starting to pick up. It is starting to pick up, which is great. But what do you do if something really upsetting has happened to you or to the world? What do you do and to deal with that and still be able to show up for your auditions, show up for your bookings, show up for yourself, for your acting? Now, that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to just sit in that for a minute. Acting is different than any other profession. Well, than a lot of other professions. The arts are different. As an artist, which being an actor, we use our feelings. We use our soul. We use our bodies. We use our system, as I like to call it, which is all of those combined. We have to show up with those open and ready to go. If we were in another profession, we may not have to do that as much. If we were a stockbroker, we wouldn't have to do that as much. Perhaps, I don't know. Maybe stockbrokers feel a lot. I don't know. If we were working in a factory, if we were, what else? Professions like those. If we were a doctor, this would still be very trying times. If we were a teacher, this would still be. So this could actually apply to a lot of people, not just to actors. But as actors, that's what we use. Pianists have pianos and violinists have violins. That's their instrument. We are our instrument. Same thing with dancers as well, right? We are our instrument. So how do we, when our instrument is so gunked up with so much upsetting stuff, how do we show up and do our job as an actor? All right, so I can tell you what I do. I tell you what other people do with this. This is really hard. This is really hard, especially if you're really upset. And it doesn't have to be a pandemic happening. It could be you lost your cat. It could be your husband lost his job. It could be you are still so overwrought about that audition that you really wanted and you really thought you should have booked and you didn't. Could be lots of things, especially, as artists, we're very sensitive. Actors are very sensitive. We need to be. We feel this stuff. Okay, so what do we do? I think there's really a couple of things we can do. The first one is we can just go, how upset am I? Am I like so upset that I just can't even show up? Now, if you have booked a job, that's not an option. You're an actor, you have to show up. So we'll talk about that. If it's going to class and you're just devastated and maybe you need that emotional time to get yourself in touch with yourself and calm down and process stuff, maybe you don't go to class that week. And that's okay. If it's an audition, you need to show up for your audition unless, something really tragic has happened. You tell your agent, I'm sorry, I just can't do it. I was in a car accident or my child is very ill or something like that. But auditions and bookings, you really need to show up. Because remember, what we are doing here as actors is we are igniting our reputation. We are igniting our reputation and getting ourselves to go somewhere in the industry because of our reputation. Okay, so here we go. You've got a booking. You've got to show up. You're devastated. You have a lot going on. You're super upset about these riots that are going on. Who isn't? So what I recommend you do is, first of all, you pare down your life. Don't have a lot of stuff going on. Just do the essentials. If that means sleep till noon on your day off and then putter around the house and that's it, and work on your lines as much as you can, that's fine. Don't be going out to lunch with people. Don't be getting a pedicure or manicure unless those relax you. Don't do a lot of extraneous stuff. Pare it down. You're in survival mode right now. Pare it down, okay? Focus on preparing for the audition or for the booking. Focus on, do you know your lines? Sometimes if we can hyper-focus on stuff, it will take us out of the tragedy and the upsettingness that we're on right now. It's kind of an escape. It's actually healthy. Focus on that. Focus on your preparation. Focus on your emotional connection. Focus on all of your craft, all of that kind of stuff, okay? Do that and put aside, see if you can put this tragic stuff in a container for a moment. It's going to be really hard, but if you practice this, you can do it. Put it in a container. Tell it, I will come back to you and feel you and deal with you, and put it aside, okay? And if it comes back, just keep putting it aside. Yes, thank you. I know you're there. I will deal with you. Put it aside, okay? So then you're going to show up on set, and you're going to do the best you can. Try to keep quiet. Try to keep still. Put this fight you're having with these emotions into your character's fight. Really, acting is about fighting. It's about fighting for what you want. Acting is about what you want and going after it. So put all that upsetness into the fight of your character if you need to. All right? Just allow it to be there. Allow it to deepen everything, okay? Again, and just go in and do your job. Do your job. Focus on that. Let your rage in the character become about the rage you feel about these riots, or the rage you feel about racism, or the rage you feel about this ridiculous, horrible plague that's happened to us, or the despair, or the lostness, whatever it is. Channel that, okay? And then when you're done, go home and collapse. Go home and collapse, okay? Hopefully you'll have time and space to collapse and feel it. Feel what you're feeling. Now, in last week's Acting from All Angles, we talked about crying on cue, and I gave you this really great little exercise to help release emotions, and it's to go, ha, right? You go, ha, that's going to start to release some emotions. So if you're feeling stuck about your emotions, about all these upsetting, tragic things that's going on, sit with yourself quietly for a moment, do a couple of ha's, and let it go. Ha, feel it, let it out. The more we feel it, the more it's going to process. If we bottle it, it's just going to shut us down more and more and more and more. Okay, so for being on set, that's what you're going to do. Also for auditions, you've got to set aside so you can focus on learning your lines, focus on getting prepared, Focus on everything you need to do for that audition to prepare for it. And then go in and let her rip. And if you want to let a little bit of that stuff in, use it. Use it. And then go home and collapse and let yourself feel it. Now, to get yourself to get out of this spot of trauma, really, we're in trauma, so that you can say you need to work on an audition and you can't even do it because you're so traumatized. So it could be really good to sit with that and feel it. Do some hugs, let it out, scream, pound the couch, cry, whatever it is whatever you need to do it. Now, this may, if it's such a big thing, it may not completely relieve it. It probably won't. But that's okay. Hopefully it will clear your mind enough that you can prepare. You can prepare, okay? And then you can get back into it afterwards. So that's what I try to do. Now for class, I think a lot of times if you're feeling raw, if you're feeling vulnerable, it can be great to show up for class anyway. You could even tell the teacher, you know, I am really going through a lot and I kind of just want to watch if you want to do that. But let your actor be fed during that. If we shut down and like starve ourselves artistically when we're in trauma, it's going to make it worse. Our actor's going to go, whoa, wait a minute, I still want to act. I said, what's going on? Is the world that bad? So expose yourself as much as you can to being present with your acting. And if you can go to class and if you can just sit there and participate as much as you can, that's great. Although sometimes it may just be way too much, and sometimes you just need to crawl into bed and go to sleep or cry or whatever. That's okay too. You have to make that call. So really what we're talking about here is trauma. I believe that we are experiencing societal trauma with what's going on with COVID and with the riots and with everything else. You know, you hear about hurricanes and fires and everything else. We're going into fire season. What's going to happen in the fall? It's very traumatizing. Trauma is very difficult. Trauma has to be dealt with. So one of the best ways is to breathe, to be with it, to talk about it with other people. I'd love to hear comments about this. How are you guys feeling? How are you coping with this trauma? How is it affecting your acting? And are these tips I'm giving, can they be useful? Try them out. Are they useful? Another thing that's really helpful, and I'll just wrap with this, is to do everything that you can do and then to let it go. If you know that you have done everything that you can do, like with an audition, you have learned your lines beautifully, you have made some choices, you have a connection and a personalization to yourself, that is all you can do. You have done it, and you're going to go in, and you're going to let her rip, even with all the trauma that you're going on. And then you can let it go. You can let it go. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps. Let's keep this dialogue going. I think it's really important. You guys rock. Have a really safe and wonderful, find some wonderfulness in this weekend, if we can, all right? Okay, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.